But Rodrygo's the interesting one now because he is. You guys have started talks in checking out whether he'd be interested. There are some reports that have come out that his priority is the Prem and Arsenal on the top of the list. But there's reports coming out today from various sources, Graham Bailey and others, that Liverpool are showing an interest in him. PSG are showing an interest. There's also the situation with Bayern Munich with, unfortunately, they didn't get Nico Williams. Musiala's just gone and got himself, out for 4 or 5 months. Do you see a world where Rodrygo will happen for Arsenal? Because he's going to leave Real Madrid. I think it is almost a certainty that Madrid don't want him anymore, or Alonso don't want him. He's going to leave. The deal's on for multiple clubs. Where does he go? Have Arsenal got a good shot in this, Aaron?
Well, I mean, you'd like to at least hope they're going to throw their name in the hat. Absolutely. If players like that are available, as I'd said previously, that is an absolute floor raiser. That's better than what we've got 2, 3, 4-fold at left wing. Of course, that probably means one of them's going to have to go, but at least chuck your name in the hat. Now, if Liverpool and Manchester City, say, were throwing their name in the hat, would I be less confident about him come to Arsenal? Yeah, I would. Because when you're probably looking at it, they can compete financially with the player. And also, they're probably in better positions to not necessarily guarantee you winning trophies, but if you was to ask me now who's going to win the trophy next season, Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester City, Arsenal would be the bottom of the pile purely because the other teams have won it so frequently. So yeah, I would be a little bit worried, but look, listen, you never know. Are Manchester City going to be in for him? You don't 100% know. Are we going to massively blow him out the window or anyone out the window astronomically with a wage packet that gets him through the deal? You don't really know, but all I'm asking Arsenal Football Club to do, and this is why I don't want us to get Madueke and blow funds. I would rather at least just hold it in there. If he is available, go all out for him. Go, here's 80 million, Real Madrid. Talk to me. Bit of Terry Tibbs. Talk to me. That's it. There you go. What have you got now? How much is he going to go for? How much more is it going to take? Let's talk. Get in there first. Do you know what I mean? That might make the little bit of difference. He knows probably if he wants to play at left wing, I don't know maybe so much about the other clubs. He'll be in a better position to say that than at Manchester City than me at Arsenal, but he'll guaranteed get game time at left wing for us. So that might come into play, the fact that you're guaranteed in there, like you said, signings like a Zuba-Mendy and a Gyökeres might go, oh, Arsenal are looking like they mean a bit more business and they want to go in a certain direction. That might all help, but I just want us to be in the conversation, 100%. We can't not be. Arsenal Football Club can't allow themselves to freeze themselves out of a Rodrygo transfer. No way.
Do you think, like, because I know you're quite critical, right? But do you think that maybe Arsenal Football Club, not the fans, of course, I'm talking about the board and the owners. Do you think that they'll just look at Zuba-Mendy and Gyökeres and go, that'll keep the fans sweet for another year? Or do you think that their board and the owners really have the true desire and an ambition to go out there and do Zuba-Mendy, Gyökeres, and a Rodrygo all in one transfer window? Because that's what it takes. Do you think they'll do that?
I mean, if they do, I'll be surprised. But look, we've only got 12 months to answer your question in terms of history and why I think that they won't do that. 12 months ago, we ran you closer than we've ever done before. 2 points in it, albeit I sort of kind of knew Manchester City are a new animal. They're a different animal, rather. When they get towards that end, you just win, know how to get over the line. But I just thought then when there was 2 points behind, I thought, wow, this is the summer, i.e. last summer, where we really, really, really now try and take this Premier League title off of you. And what did Arsenal... Let me actually, before I say that, Manchester City last summer didn't even have a great transfer window, nor did Liverpool. So there was even more in it for Arsenal Football Club last summer to just go, have the window we're having now. Get Gyökeres in there. Get another winger in there and do what we should have done. Even if you'd done half of it, we wouldn't have had to do all of this business this season. And the very fact is we thought we'd close the gap to Manchester City and get that 2 points closer by signing a left-sided centre-back in Calafiori and play him out of position, and Mikel Merino, probably one of the worst midfielders I've seen at Arsenal Football Club, and play him up top. So I've got that. So when you're asking me, do you think they'll get the business done? I'll probably say no, because I've seen it so many times. They've been at this football club and been in charge in 2018. And when it gets to that point where you want to change that, go up a gear and really do it, they've found wanting every single time. Would I love them to change? Yes, of course I would. But I've got history to go by on. They never do the business. If they do this season, buzz in. Big up to the Cronkies this summer. Well done. But do I think it's going to happen? No. There's a massive difference between what I think will happen and what I want to happen. Massive, massive difference.
Well, if you don't sign a left winger, I don't think you'll win the league. Man. I think you really need to upgrade that position. Really
it's stale, bruv. The strike force, I know we got Gyökeres in now, but could you imagine Arsenal went in another season with Trossard and Martinelli and Jesus and Kai Havertz and relying on Bukayo Saka? It's so stale. You know, if there were animals, RSPCA would be called. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's neglected.
I also think I did a show with Potsy a couple of weeks ago in London, and I said it there and I say it again. I think getting rid of Martinelli also sends a message to a lot of the other the main first 11 that if your standards drop for more than a year, you can go. And I think you need to set that. The best teams I've ever seen have been willing to sacrifice top players if their standards drop. Sometimes you sacrifice top players irrespective. And the most famous example I can think of was Fergie when he moved on Ince and Hughes and Kanchelskis. One, it was to make room for this crop of young players. It was excellent. But that certainly sent a message to all the other elder statesmen of shit, we're not safe here. And if you want to stay, you got to pull your socks up. So I think one, improving that area with Rodrygo is important, but also sacrificing someone. And I think this happens to a lot of clubs. Man United are going through it, definitely. And I'm sure you remember this when you were younger, LB, when your team wasn't brilliant like it is now. You become more attached to players, I think, than when you're doing well. And I know a lot of Arsenal fans, especially the younger ones who haven't witnessed you win anything, like outside of barring FA Cups, you've won nothing else major. You fall in love with the players. Martinelli helped get us to this point, and Saka helped get to this point, and X, Y, and Z got us to this level, and I love them. I want to see him stay to get over the line with us. Sometimes you have to move those players on to get over the line. It's part and parcel. Sometimes they get you over the line and you're winning with them and you still get rid of them. You sell them at a profit so you can invest in the next person to keep your team winning over time. And I think Arsenal, if you look at Wenger's era, one of the biggest mistakes you made is you never sold people for as much money as they should have gone for, and never really. It wasn't like, when the Vieiras of this world went, it wasn't like you were getting massive money and reinvesting in somebody else that was really good. It was always kind of like undercutting things, and you got away with it for a while. But as soon as the Chelseas and the Cities came along and then all the new money came in, Arsenal struggled. So I don't think an Arsenal fan at all should be looking at Martinelli leaving as terrible and crazy. As long as the replacements are better, and it's done in the right way where there's another kick up the backside. Because when you did get rid of Aubameyang and co, and I still think it was for the right reasons, you saw an uplift in your team's performances. You became a better team. And I know the replacements needed, but I'm talking about the logic of the kick up the backside. If you'd have done that and then brought in a world-class striker, the performances would have been even better. In fact, you may have even gone on to win the bloody league. So I think it's the right thing to do. The left side is important. I've got